So if astrology is so real, then why can one Taurus meet another Taurus and they may have some similarities, but they also have some major differences in their personality? Well, in this video, you're gonna find out. Hello, beautiful people. Your moon sign reveals your emotional disposition, how you feel about things. And because we are motivated much of the time by how we feel, this can have a major influence on our personalities, especially in romantic relationships, because we're operating from our emotions much of the time. So in this video, I will be uncovering the truth behind Taurus and how having each moon sign will influence their personality. And all I ask in return is that you show a little bit of love by hitting that like button. It's really easy, it's free, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. Just a little tap. A baby tap. Okay, no more wasting time. Here are the 12 faces of Taurus, a brief personality description of Taurus based on what moon sign they have. Let's go. Okay, someone who is Taurus with Aries Moon. Now this is gonna be a very assertive, but quiet at times and reserved version of Taurus. This personality will take in a scenario first, then once they are comfortable, they will open up a bit more. So the people that are close to them know that they are fun-loving, with big energy and a great sense of humor. But those that have had more minimal contact with them would probably describe them as shy or even quiet. So this version of Taurus is not a what you see is what you get situation. They're much more of a what you don't really know, you won't get to know until you really get into their close circle. Now, with them, for sure, they are independent. They like to do things their own way. The female version of the sign may be a bit more of a tomboy than the female version of other Taurus sun-moon combinations, because that Aries moon will bring out their desire to overcome physical obstacles and amplify their competitive nature. But whether male or female, this is a personality that likes taking risks, that is adventurous. And when it comes to their professional world, they will set their goals and they will go for it. Now, the Taurus energy will for sure make it, so they do have phases of wanting to relax a bit. And that Aries moon energy will make them more impatient than other Tauruses, but when it's go time and they have a clear action to take to achieve what they want, then they are extremely hard workers and will go until it's done. But when they do have time off and it's time to relax, they definitely know how to kick back, relax, and they don't want to be bothered until they're ready. So with this type of clarity of intention, competitive nature, and ability to rise to the occasion, they are definitely capable of success. They also have an intense, stubborn streak and can be immovable when standing up for themselves or someone that they love, or even a cause that they are emotionally connected to. They will be pretty good at budgeting money, so this will also help them along their path to independence. Now, when it comes to love, they can fall quickly and will believe the best of someone that they are feeling affection for. They will give someone passionate devotion and loyalty, but it's tricky with them. The moment they feel like that you've wronged them in some way, then they can make an emotional shift from hot to very cold in a split second. They can throw that silent treatment on you and become distant, and it's very hard to get back in unless they get what they're looking for in terms of resolution with the situation that triggered them. The thing is, as long as you give them loyalty, love, and honesty directly and consistently, so they can feel secure and they know you are willing to work as a team to achieve financial security and a solid future together, then you will get that beautiful, devoted, adventurous, and very sensual, loving version of them. But like I said, if they find that you have lied to them or misrepresented yourself in any way, then you can kiss that version goodbye and they will cut ties with you and they'll never look back. And when that takes place, they will more than likely find their closest friend and emotionally eat until they are over the situation, but they won't give you any direct energy. So overall, a Taurus with Aries moon is a personality that is playful, passionate, determined, and straightforward. But they can also be extremely stubborn and ruthless if someone is standing in the way of what they want to achieve, or if someone that they care about has broken their trust. But if you're capable of consistent honesty, loyalty, support, and devotion, then you will have a one-of-a-kind love on your hands. But just know that they can slip right through your fingers in an instant if it goes left. Okay, a Taurus with Taurus moon. Now, I personally love this combination. They are consistent, what you see is what you get, no nonsense people that are really about enjoying life and all that it has to offer. And doing this all while being grounded, caretaking, compassionate, and honestly easy to get along with. They will have a great sense of humor, be a great conversationalist, and whatever they focus on will get their full focus. The only drawback with this personality is more detrimental to themselves. If there's something that they really like, they will indulge sometimes to the point where it can be be a little unhealthy. They have a hard time saying no to something that they really like and they really want, even if they know it isn't that good for them. When it comes to them setting and achieving goals, they definitely have the focus and staying power to make it happen. They make amazing friends because they are easygoing, they're not demanding, and they truly are optimists. When it comes to their professional ambitions, they are more focused on finding something that provides security that they enjoy, as opposed to trying to take over the world or being the most successful person that they know. They will reach success, but they aren't the types that will step on or over people on the way up. They're the more work hard, work consistently, enjoy life, take some vacations, hang out with friends and family, go to great restaurants. That's what their focus is. Now, when it comes to love, you can consider yourself very lucky if you find yourself in a relationship with them. They are not high maintenance at all. They love comfort and they want to offer that and experience that with you. They're absolutely loyal, they're honest, and very supportive. When you have their heart, you have it purely and it's long lasting. Their one main criteria is that you keep it real with them. They just want to make sure that they can trust you. If they do feel like they can trust you, then they feel like the two of you can weather any storm. But if you break that trust, you won't get an explosion, you won't get a vengeful reaction. You will get someone who is genuinely hurt and someone who will genuinely make a commitment with themselves to never let you back in. And when they commit to something, it is locked in. It's written in stone and it's not gonna change. So seriously, if you're dating them, in a relationship with them, just don't lie to them. If you can manage to be honest, the two of you will have a great relationship. They will do their part and they'll make the space and give you the support to do you and make sure that you have the independence to follow your goals. So overall, a Taurus with Taurus Moon is dedicated, stable, down to earth, determined, and loving. And there's someone who also can overindulge at times in life's pleasures, but they'll support you and they'll be by your side and they'll work as a team as long as you don't lie. So only those with integrity need apply. But just know, if you have the chance to know this personality, then lucky you. And also just keep in mind that they can give one serious silent treatment if you do cross them. So just be prepared for that. Okay, Taurus with Gemini Moon. Now this is a very cool but complex version of Taurus. This is because Taurus and Gemini are two very different energies. So when you put these two very different personality types in one person, you will for sure get some intricacies in terms of them being hard to figure out at times. This is because Taurus is a sign that is usually pretty straightforward and clear when it comes to how they feel about things. But a Taurus with Gemini Moon will be a personality that has thoughts and emotions that quickly shift in many different directions. Now, this doesn't mean that they are scattered and confused. It just means that they're naturally wired to see many different angles of things, so this actually makes them much more open-minded than the usual Taurus. But this will also make them less consistent and more unpredictable. This can help them professionally, given they will be able to multitask better than a usual Taurus, and they will also have a seemingly endless well of ideas. So if they find themselves in a profession that requires a quick mind and someone who's able to deal with a fast pace that offers variety that can capitalize on their ability to problem solve, then they should do pretty well and be successful. This version of Taurus will also be much more outgoing than the usual Taurus and also have a much larger group of friends. Where most Tauruses have a small, very close group of friends, a Taurus with Gemini Moon will have a much larger group of acquaintances. Now, this group is not made up of individuals that they would trust with their lives. It's just that they have a variety of interests, and this circle of people that they connect with is going to be larger. When it comes to the people that they actually trust and are very close to, this more than likely will be a very few, like a usual Taurus, but it doesn't stop there. Their social circle will reach much further. Now, when it comes to love, this is where things get interesting. They're attracted to people that are outgoing, social, fun, but they also want stability and consistency. So they will work best with someone that has the same dynamic and complexity that they do. If you're in a relationship with them, you may feel like it's hard to figure them out at times. This is because their opinions and even likes and dislikes can change pretty often. So if you're the type of person who is uncomfortable with someone that is open and okay with changing their mind and changing the way that they feel, then you should for sure look elsewhere. But if you're also open-minded and comfortable with change and you live more in the moment, then this might be the exact personality type that you're looking for. A Taurus with Gemini Moon is loving and exciting to be with, but they for sure need a bit of room to be independent and not have too much pressure in terms of what the future does hold. They're more of the let's see what happens when we get there, as opposed to let's define everything now and stick to those definitions. They can be committed and fulfilled by a long-term relationship, but that relationship has to have freedom wisdom and understanding and a lighthearted energy to it. More rigid types need not apply. A Taurus with Gemini Moon can also be pretty aggressive and demanding in a relationship and not even realize it. So just know that the better you communicate with them, the better the two of you are going to get along, because much of the time they are being perceived in a way that they're not even intending. So overall, a Taurus with Gemini Moon is a personality that is intelligent, they're inquisitive, they're constantly moving, and they're excited to explore what the world has to offer, and they're very capable of deep love, but they can also be judgmental, sometimes deceitful, and difficult to figure out. So if you're into puzzles, this could be the perfect match for you, because if you crack that Taurus with Gemini Moon code, you can have the experience of a lifetime. Okay, Taurus with Cancer Moon. Now this is a very compassionate, loving, friendly, and likable version of Taurus. With the warmth of Taurus and the intuition of Cancer, this personality will know what you need sometimes even before you do, and they will be there to offer it up. When it comes to their professional world, they are definitely hard workers with the capability to deliver exactly what it is that you need from them. You just have to be very clear on what that is. A Taurus with Cancer Moon lives in a world that is very black or white. They are not big on freestyling, meaning they don't like to just go off script. When it comes to their work, they want to know exactly in detail what someone is asking them to deliver. This way they can do exactly that, and they can do it to the very last detail. However, if what you request from them is general terms or broad strokes, they will get a bit frustrated because they prefer detailed information as opposed to general information where they have to fill in the blanks. They make great organizers and they can take the lead, but more than likely they will find themselves working as part of a team. They are very dependable and very consistent. The challenge is they are for sure emotional, and not just in their personal life. This can spill over into their professional life as well. So if there are any Tauruses with Cancer Moon personalities out there watching this right now, just know that the more you can keep yourself from getting involved emotionally or getting distracted by emotional situations, then the more powerful and the more productive and the more successful you can be. It's a beautiful thing to be a caring person, but it's also a beautiful thing to be able to prioritize and realize what is important to the big picture and what isn't. Now, when it comes to romantic relationships, they are definitely wired to be in love. So much so that this is where their mind and their heart focus much of their time and energy. They have a lot of love to give, and they find fulfillment in someone that they can share this with. It is important to know that they can be very moody though. They can go from that loving, protective, attentive, and caring Taurus to a complaining, frustrated, demanding Taurus in a matter of seconds if they feel that you're not giving them the love and appreciation that they feel like they deserve. They can be jealous sometimes and insecure at times, and even manipulative when their fears kick in. But as long as they have a partner that reciprocates the deep, devoted love that they're capable of giving, then the majority of the time you will get that amazing version of them. And even if they do slip into those challenging traits, they can slip right back in the blink of an eye when they resolve the issue that triggered them into their downward spiral. So overall, a Taurus with Cancer Moon is a personality that is playful, imaginative, responsible, and loyal. And they're also very supportive and passionate in a relationship. But just know they can be emotionally volatile, vindictive at times, and manipulative when they feel that they're underappreciated or taken advantage of. So if a connected, consistent relationship is what you're looking for, and you're capable of making love your top priority and working towards a future together and working as a team while being verbally and physically expressive, if you're capable of that, then a Taurus with Cancer Moon will make an amazing match for you. If you aren't capable of that, then run for your life, because it will never work. They will not settle for anything less than what they feel like they deserve. Okay, Taurus with Leo Moon. Now this is a version of Taurus that is absolutely confident in who they are, and they know exactly what they want, and they have no problem asking for it and making sure that they get it. They are much more outgoing than a Taurus with other moon signs, and they are also very generous and dramatic with the way that they express themselves. Although they are lighthearted and fun with a great sense of humor, they are also extremely hard workers, and when they have their sights set on a goal, they will do what it takes to achieve that goal. They will have a creative mind and a flair for design, and even if they don't get into that world professionally, they will still find a way to express that talent and that part of their personality, usually through their unique way of dressing when it comes to their wardrobe, or decorating when it comes to their home. They're definitely the work hard, play hard types. They don't like anything boring or anything basic. So even when it comes to their environment at work, they will do what is necessary to bring it to life so that it matches their energy, which is energetic and celebratory. So when it comes to their professional world, this is an ambitious version of Taurus with a lot of confidence and a clarity to achieve substantial success. It also helps that they are a double fixed sign. So that means when they do decide to focus and stick to something, it is a natural talent for them to do so. So when it comes to romantic love, this personality can make a fantastic partner. They love to surprise you with gifts, and they love to spoil you in terms of showering you with the love that they feel like you deserve. Now, just make sure that you spoil them in return. Like I said, they are very confident, so they know what they deserve, and they want someone who also knows that. They want to feel like they are the center of your world, because for them, they will make sure that you feel like the center of theirs. It's not all fun and games though. You will have to give into their way of doing things much of the time. They can compromise, but it doesn't happen often. They can be pretty bossy. The good news is their way does end up usually yielding some pretty good results, and the process is usually going to be pretty fun. So if you're the more adaptable and easygoing type, then you and a Taurus with Leo Moon should get along great. So overall, a Taurus with Leo Moon is a personality that is honest, full of life, optimistic, compassionate, and ambitious, who can also be a bit demanding, unknowingly tactless, and sometimes self-centered, but an amazing individual to have in your life and a love that will surely be appreciated and fulfilling. Okay, Taurus with Virgo Moon. Now this version of Taurus is going to be no nonsense. Taurus and Virgo are two signs that are similar and they get along well, so they will amplify the traits of each other. They both want the facts, and they want them clearly, they want them directly, and they want them specifically. They will be the kings and queens of facts don't care about your feelings. Now they can be very empathetic, compassionate, and loving, but if it doesn't make sense to them and it can't be backed up with hard, concrete evidence, then don't look in their direction for them to jump on board with being overly compassionate. They are the types that will give you credit where credit is due, but their standard for due credit is pretty high. They tend to notice what is wrong with something before they notice what is right about it, and they will not just give out compliments to be nice. They are nice people, but they are not playing the game of life to be liked. They're all about sincerity. That's what they give, and that's what they want in return. They're great at giving advice, and they will do well in any profession where gathering information and then formulating that information in a precise, practical way that benefits others is the theme. They are usually very health conscious, and because of this, they're usually pretty athletic. Even if not naturally athletic, they will be strong and consistent and make the most of what they were genetically given. They think in terms of longevity, and they plan for their future when it comes to all of their habits and behaviors. And when it comes to their professional and financial world, you can rest assured they will absolutely plan for the future. So a consistent, steady climb to the top where they're driven in their personality and very focused with consistency and dependability, that's the formula that they feel like will reach success. Now, when it comes to love, this personality is also no nonsense. They will show you that they love you by doing things for you, and not because you can't do it yourself, but because they see acts of service as their love language. And when it comes to their expression, that's their go-to. Now, they more times than not will be attracted to someone that's a bit more lighthearted than they are, because it helps them to get out of their serious and sometimes worrying, bordering neurotic mental state brought on by that constant striving for perfection that Virgo Moon can bring to almost any sun sign. So they really appreciate optimistic, full of life types, but they do absolutely require honesty, consistency, and they're not trying to waste their time with anyone who doesn't know what they want and who isn't willing to work towards a future together that has a strong foundation. They're not at all high maintenance emotionally, and they don't have impulsive tempers or a reactive nature. They may be a bit high maintenance though with what they require just in terms of practicality. The only time you will get the darker version of them is if you've said one thing and then you do another, or you try to manipulate them and play the victim in some way. Remember, they work in a fact-based world, so they're not trying to hear some sob story that doesn't make sense to them. They like to keep it simple, loving, and lasting. All the extra drama they don't need, and frankly, they won't be there for it. If they feel that you're doing too much, they will just cut and run and be done with you. So overall, a Taurus with Virgo Moon is a personality that is principled, they're insightful and consistent, and absolutely no nonsense with a what you see is what you get personality, and they can also be critical and demanding, but much more in a practical way as opposed to an emotional way. So if a grounded, long-lasting, loving relationship is what you're looking for, and you can handle a high standard to live up to, then this relationship may be just for you. Okay, Taurus with Libra Moon. Now this is such a likable personality. You put the charm and compassion of Taurus with the diplomacy and peace-loving traits of Libra together in one person, and you get someone that is easygoing and sincerely interested in making sure that things run smoothly with as little stress as possible. They will have a great sense of humor and great taste. This person will do well to explore a profession that's connected to design or fashion. They are patient and they're understanding, and they're not impulsive with their emotions at all. They're more the types to ask questions and then decide how they're gonna feel about it. And this doesn't mean that they don't get angry. Of course, they definitely get angry. We all do. And especially if they feel like something isn't fair. And when they do get angry, they are not timid about expressing how they feel or their opinion, but they aren't interested in revenge or hurting someone in return. They just want to either right whatever wrong is taking place, or they just want to get as far away from the source of injustice as possible. They are open-minded, and they also work really well with people, so they would be great in production, especially with Taurus having great organizational skills as a fixed sign, and Libra having the ability to lead and delegate, but in a way that isn't abrasive or condescending. So as long as they can fight off that tendency that both Taurus and Libra have to have a lazy streak, then they for sure should be able to be successful in whatever they put their mind to. A fiery rising like Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius would really help to counterbalance any tendencies to laziness. No matter what their rising sign though, they will for sure love indulging in the comforts of life and anything that pleases the senses. Now, when it comes to love, this is where they can have a bit of a challenge. They tend to be a bit shy in this area and second guess their feelings, and they're also not really the types to approach someone and make the first move, so that can minimize their chances for connection. They can also overly romanticize relationships and be pretty idealistic. So when a connection happens, but it's not living up to what they've envisioned, they can become disenchanted and slowly but surely disconnect. They aren't the types to pack up and leave in anger. They're more the types to gradually distance themselves and then make their way out, all while devising a plan that makes sure that they don't have to make too much of an adjustment or too many sacrifices. They're drawn to more confident energies because it helps to balance their tendency to second guess things. However, when they do find the right match, they can make an amazing partner. They are definitely a team player that would much rather discuss solutions as opposed to placing blame, and they're not trying to cause any issues. This is because they hate conflict. They will need to be with someone who is straightforward and a great communicator though, to counterbalance their tendency to run from difficult situations. So overall, a Taurus with Libra Moon personality is a person that's friendly, they're comfort seeking, they're diplomatic and charismatic and sensitive, but they can also be deceitful, avoidant, and can also give into the urge of being lazy. But with a partner that supports them and is assertive, they can for sure have a connection that is long-lasting and fulfilling. Okay, Taurus with Scorpio Moon. Now this is a very complex, mysterious, but very cool version of Taurus. This is that situation where the sun and the moon are polar opposites, so you're gonna get someone that operates in extremes. You will get the devotion, the caretaking nature of Taurus with the sensual, spiritual, and intense energy that Scorpio brings to a person, which results in someone that is consistent for sure, but consistently secretive. And this doesn't mean that they're dishonest, it just means that they're not the types that just put everything out on the table. They prefer to keep what's going on inside. They have very few people that they genuinely trust and can open up to, and they do open up to those people, but even with them, there will still be some things left unsaid. They will always share information if they think the person or people involved can benefit from it, but if it only concerns them, then yeah, more than likely they will keep it to themselves. When it comes to their professional world, they are very hard workers and very driven, but they can tend to have less confidence in themselves because of that Scorpio Moon tendency to have very high standards and Taurus's tendency to want to live up to standards. It can be a constant struggle to truly feel confident, but the truth is they are very capable. They are usually very talented at whatever they feel inclined to pursue, and because they do have such high standards for themselves, you can always rest assured that they will be very dependable and they will always do their best. They never want to feel like they've let someone down. So as long as they don't let their tendency to be hard on themselves hold them back, they should have no problem achieving success. Now, when it comes to love, this personality loves deeply and purely. Physical connection will be very high on their list of must-haves in a relationship. This is because sometimes it's easier for them to physically express themselves than it is for them to verbally express themselves. So being with someone who is physically affectionate and open will definitely help them to feel safe, so that way they can open up in other areas. Now, they can for sure be jealous, but they aren't vindictive. They just literally can't stand the idea of someone that they love being with someone else. They have a great judge of character and they have extremely good intuition, so you won't get much over on them. So your best bet is to be open and honest, even if it might hurt them. They will respect you and trust you more in the end. Now, this doesn't mean that they will be so forthcoming themselves. It may at times feel like you're the one who's giving information and it's like pulling teeth to get information out of them. But at the end of the day, you can rest assured that they will do their best to love you purely and consistently and to be a great support system for you. So overall, a Taurus with Scorpio Moon is a personality that is unique, they're passionate, sensual, and very intense. And they can also be very hard to read, stubborn, and emotionally needy. But for someone who's capable of giving that love and devotion that they desire, they will be greatly rewarded with a strong, emotionally expressive, deep love that can last a lifetime. Okay, Taurus with Sagittarius Moon. Now this is a very outgoing, fun-loving version of Taurus with a great sense of humor. Where Tauruses are usually creatures of habit, this version of Taurus is going to desire change and want variety, and they'll definitely want to explore what the world has to offer in terms of different cultures and scenery. This personality can be very persuasive because you're blending the sincerity of Taurus with the bigger-than-life positive energy of Sagittarius. So when it comes to their professional world, they would do well to either be in a world of entertainment or a world of sales and marketing. Much of the time, people with Sagittarius Moon can talk a big game, but not necessarily follow through. Well, a Taurus with Sagittarius Moon, because of that Taurus sun sign energy, they will have the focus to follow through and the integrity to keep their word. They will, however, have to overcome their tendency to change their mind about what goal that they're setting out to achieve. So their follow through can suffer from their tendency to change course based on finding a new excitement about a new direction. Now, due to their moon sign being fire, they will have a temper that flares up and it can be explosive, but once they've expressed their point, they're quickly back to center and ready to move forward. This version of Taurus will have much more of a big picture perspective and bigger than life goals. So when it comes to their career path and professional world, they will do well as long as they do implement enough practicality and pragmatism to reinforce their ambitious Sagittarius moon visions. Also, as long as they stay away from any addictive or excessive behaviors, which this combination can be prone to depending on their rising sign. Now, when it comes to love, this personality is very generous with their heart and their expressions of emotion. Not just physically, but also when it comes to material things. Tauruses can sometimes get a bad rap for being cheap. Well, Sagittarius is the exact opposite of what they are. They're free-flowing with their money and their material possessions, sometimes so much so that it becomes a problem. So when you blend the two of these signs together, you get someone who's generous for sure, but not to the extreme where it becomes unhealthy. They will be attracted to someone's physicality just as much as they will be to the intellectual connection that the two of them have. As a matter of fact, they won't move forward unless both of those boxes are ticked. Now, they can sometimes find themselves bored with the connection with no fault being on the other party. A Taurus with Sagittarius Moon can tend to have that whole grass is greener on the other side syndrome. So this can play into their ability to be consistent with their devotion and their connection, but whether or not this is an issue will have a lot to do with what their rising sign is. So overall, a Taurus with Sagittarius Moon is a personality that is extroverted, generous, sociable, and kind-hearted, but they can also be undisciplined, evasive, and quick to anger. But one thing is for sure, if you have a relationship with them, it will be unforgettable to say the least. Okay, Taurus with Capricorn Moon. Now this is one of those situations where the sun sign and the moon sign are very compatible with each other, so it will lend to a personality who has a way of thinking and a way of feeling that is very much in alignment with each other. They will establish early on in life exactly what they want, they're going to devise a plan to get it, and they will set out on that course with very little that can take them off that course until they reach their goal. They get their sense of self-worth through their accomplishments, so that becomes their top priority. They aren't big on taking risks, they're actually much more of the slow rise to the top types, but they will make sure to have a strong foundation and they will make sure to be confident in their choices every step of the way. So though it may take them a little longer to get where they want to go, they will for sure get there. They also aren't big on winging it. They want to learn everything necessary about their chosen profession, and they will not only take their time, but they also will have the focus to do just that. They tend to be fulfilled by simplicity. They don't need a three-ring circus going on to be entertained. They're more so all all about working hard and then finding ways to relax and enjoy the comforts that life has to offer with a small but very close group of friends. They are also very family oriented, and more times than not, they will be creating a family of their own on their small but concise list of goals. When they are younger and as they age, impressing their family and wanting to take care of their family will be one of their motivating forces that fuels their ambition. Now, when it comes to love, a Taurus with Capricorn Moon is attracted to someone that they can be proud of. They want someone that is not only physically attractive, but someone that follows the same type of rules and standards that they deem necessary. So someone that's like-minded is going to work best for them. They prefer someone that's emotionally available and expressive, but not needy. But I can for sure tell you that they won't really want to settle down until they feel like their career and their finances are in order. And this doesn't mean that they will be playing the field and hooking up with everyone until then. It just means for them to take on the responsibility of a lifelong commitment. Then they need to feel like they're ready to make sure that the life that the two of you will be creating together will be one with a strong financial foundation. They are a double earth sign. They aren't very temperamental and they don't have angry outbursts, but you may have to deal with a few silent treatment moments, and at times they may be hard to read, and definitely they can for sure be stubborn. But if you keep your word and you give them the loyalty and devotion and affection that they feel that they're giving you, you two will be good to go. So overall, a Taurus with Capricorn Moon is a personality that is rational, analytical, loving, and practical, and they can also be melancholy, seen by some as boring, and they can tend to take criticism personally. But one thing is for sure, they are trustworthy and they're consistent, and they have the integrity to offer a love that is fulfilling and long-lasting. Okay, Taurus with Aquarius Moon. Now, although these two signs are very different, this is a situation where they really complement each other. Taurus has a practicality and focus that sometimes Aquarius lacks, and Aquarius has the out-of-the-box innovation and problem-solver perspective that sometimes Taurus can lack. So when you put these two astrological energies together, you get a personality that is extremely capable and more than likely going to reach a high level of success, where many Taurus personalities can get stuck on one situation because of how it's affected them emotionally. This version of Taurus can process, release, and move on. They rationalize and take whatever lesson they were meant to learn with them regarding that situation, and they leave the rest behind. Where most Tauruses work to achieve financial success, this version of Taurus is looking for freedom. Not to say they don't want money, it's just not their main focus when they're setting or pursuing their goals. They usually have a very unique way of expressing themselves when it comes to their fashion sense, and although they aren't necessarily loud and boisterous, they will absolutely make a statement when they enter a room. They work great in a team situation, but they don't really take kindly to being bossed around. So a collaborative team is where they're gonna definitely shine. Although they are empathic as individuals, they are much more on the thinker side of things than the feeler side of things. So you won't get big mood swings when it comes to them. So regarding success and their professional world, you will definitely see them on top of their game and either rising to the top in their respective profession or they're on their way. Now, when it comes to romantic relationships, they are for sure relationship oriented and they thrive in that sort of connection, but it must be a situation where the person that they're with has their own goals. The person that they're with has to be independent and give that Taurus with Aquarius Moon the freedom that they require in order to remain excited about the relationship. You will get Taurus's devotion and Taurus's willingness to make sure that you're taken care of, but you will also have to meet Aquarius's need for variety, adaptability, and intellectual interaction. So overall, a Taurus with Aquarius Moon is a personality that is efficient, they're optimistic, with innovative ideas and a great sense of humor, but they can also be unpredictable. They can be slightly controlling and irresponsible at times. But if you're looking for a unique love with excitement, great conversation, a solid plan for the future with independence and freedom as part of the deal, then this could be the love that is perfect for you. Okay, Taurus with Pisces Moon. Now, this is a very unique version of Taurus. You get the practicality of Taurus with the dreamy creativity and artistic vision of Pisces. So when you blend these two astrological energies together, you will get someone with great taste and a passion for design, whether it be home design or clothing design or even visual art. So if there are any Tauruses with Pisces Moon personalities out there watching this, just know that you might want to explore this part of your personality when it comes to deciding what professional path you're going to take. Now, this personality isn't naturally impulsive, but they are governed by their emotions. So their willingness to partake in something is going to have so much to do with how they feel about it or whatever mood they're in. So just know if you want to get them to say yes to something, you have to first change how they feel about it. If they're in a good mood, then you're much more likely to get a yes out of them. They're very likable and they can be social, but a lot of the time they will prefer to relax in the comfort of their own home, maybe with just a few friends, because at times it can be too much for them to be outside in the public among all that activity, because it can be overwhelming for them and they tend to take everything in. They have a great imagination and an uncanny ability to remember even the smallest details of a situation. So when it comes to their professional world and goals, they will have a clear path to success if they find a way to manage their heavy waves of emotion. Now, when they feel good, they are unstoppable. But when they're affected negatively in an emotional way, it can be debilitating and it makes it very difficult for them to move forward and be productive. Now, when it comes to love, this personality is definitely the type to want and thrive in a loving relationship. They will for sure want to go the traditional route, and because of this, they will want to be with someone who plans for the future, someone who's responsible, and someone who is emotionally expressive and available. The problem is they may have to go through a few unsuccessful relationships to get there. This is because they have a tendency to believe the best in someone and maybe even fall in love really quickly with someone's potential, only to realize that most of the time with people, what you see is what you're gonna get. And if they aren't pulling their weight in the beginning, then usually they're not pulling their weight in the end. And you'll find that they have the same lack of concern for being responsible that they had in the beginning of the relationship. But once they go through one or a few of these situations, they do learn their lesson and they begin to only give energy to someone that is earning their emotional devotion with proof of action. Once they are in a balanced relationship though, they're loving, they're devoted, they're compassionate, and they're caretaking, but it isn't always a walk in the park with them. They can be very moody with many emotional highs and lows, but in the end, they do really want harmony and peace. So if they have a compassionate partner that's supportive and willing to work as a team and doesn't judge them when they're getting emotional, and they just want to solve the issues and solve the problems, they will get over the lows really quickly and they'll get right back to the highs. So overall, a Taurus with Pisces Moon is someone that is fair, they're creative, they're a dreamer and a lover, and if you're going to be with them, it will be a rewarding experience. Just be ready for them to be critical at times, a bit manipulative when it serves them, but overall very charming and striving for peace and harmony. Okay, so there you have it. A brief personality description of the 12 faces of Taurus based on what moon sign they have. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, don't forget the baby tap. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you've had any experiences with a version of Taurus that you would like to share, please do. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.